Hello, everyone, and welcome to Student Finance, an introduction for 2020 and 2021. So I'm going to talk with you today a little bit about Student Finance England and how Student Finance England provides financial support on behalf of the UK government to those students from England entering into higher education within the UK. There are two main costs you'll have while studying, and those are tuition fees and living costs. So there's student finance available to help you with both. Depending on your circumstances, you could also get extra financial help while you actually study. And I will talk a little bit more about that as we go through the slides. So first off, what student finance can you actually get? First and foremost, it's tuition fees. And I'm sure you've heard a lot about tuition fees and student finance in the media and in the press. So firstly, you won't have to pay any tuition fees up front. That's correct. Nothing out of your pocket. You can get a tuition fee loan to cover the fee charged by your university or college. But please do bear in mind, if you decide to study at a private university or a private college, the amount of tuition fee you will receive from Student Finance England will be a certain amount, and anything above that will have to be paid by yourself or your parents. The amount you get doesn't depend on your household income. Everyone is entitled to a tuition fee as long as they are eligible and entitled. Student Finance England will pay the tuition fee loan directly to your university or college. So once you have applied for it, you don't need to worry about it coming into your own bank account. It is Student Finance England's responsibility to make that payment directly to your chosen institution. The good news is the maximum tuition fee for 2021 and 2022, which is next September, the academic year in England will be maintained at the levels that apply in the current year, which is 2020 and 2021. So the tuition fees have actually been frozen by the government now for the last 4 years. The tuition fee, if you do decide to take one out, the loan, it will be paid back once you have either finished your course or left your course. And you will only start to repay once you reach a certain threshold. And again, I will be talking about the repayment thresholds later on during the slides. So, the maintenance loan. Well, the maintenance loan exists to help with your living costs, such as rent, food, books, travel. All eligible students can get some form of maintenance support. The amount you can get depends on where you actually live and study. So there are different rates if you choose to study elsewhere or if you choose to study in London. And again, I'll be covering that off very shortly. You can apply for more based on what your actual household income is. The maintenance loan is paid directly into your bank account at the start of each term. So it's very important that when you make an application for student finance, you actually have a UK bank account and your national insurance number ready for the maintenance loan to be paid directly to you. And just like the tuition fee, you'll start to repay your maintenance loan back once you've either finished or left your course. But again, just like the tuition fee, the repayment is based on what your actual earnings are, and as long as you are over the actual threshold at the point of repaying. So, for academic year 2021 and 2022, for those students that are considering starting higher education next year, what is the maximum maintenance loan for living costs for new full-time students? And again, remember, this is for full-time eligible students starting next year in 2021. You will see by the table there are different rates. So first of all, we have the parental home rate. If you choose to stay with your parents and live at home and study locally, the maximum amount of up to £7,987 per year in maintenance loan is available. If you choose to study elsewhere, away from home, but actually outside of London, the amount of maintenance loan available to you is £9,488. And for those of you brave enough to want to study in London, the away from home rate for studying within London will be £12,382 per year. Now, there is an overseas rate available, and that is for any student that decides to study overseas, but as part of a UK course at your institution. The maintenance loan is paid based on a non-income assessment and an income assessment. So if you look at the left-hand column, parental home, elsewhere, London, and overseas. The non-income assessed amount, which is slightly in a pink color, identifies the almost guaranteed amount that you will receive. If you wish to receive a higher amount, you do have to provide your household income. That means your parental income, your spouse or your partner or whoever you live with and sponsors your application form. Once the income has been provided and an assessment carried out, if you look at the maximum loan column, there is then the amount that I've already mentioned, the maximum amount of maintenance loan. There is additionally extra help whilst you study in higher education. Other financial help and support may also be available if you have children or there is an adult who depends on you financially. And this is covered by things like the childcare grant, the parent learning allowance, and the grants for dependents. Additionally, if you have a disability, including a long-term health condition, a mental health condition, or a specific learning difficulty, you will be able to receive the disability support allowance. Furthermore, for those of you wishing to study nursing, midwifery, or allied health professional courses, the NHS Bursary Support Allowance, which is available directly from the NHS Bursary Services Authority, will also provide additional support in addition to any support that you would be eligible for from Student Finance England. Scholarships and bursaries. This is something that is not provided directly from Student Finance England, but we do administer it if we have an agreement with your chosen university or college. And it is very important for you as students considering higher education to speak with every university and college that you are researching about the scholarships and bursaries that they actually offer. So there is extra help for many students from universities and colleges. Each university has its own scheme, so you will need to research and speak to those universities and colleges individually. The chances of you receiving a scholarship and a bursary are more likely if your family has a low income, you're the first in your family to go to university, or you study a particular subject, and that will also be depending on the university. If you achieve high grades from your school or your college and then progress on to university, there is the possibility of also receiving a scholarship based on high achievement grades. Or some universities will also offer you a scholarship or a bursary if you wish to study a sports-related discipline, art or music degree at university. Equally, your university of choice may offer a scholarship and a bursary if you decide to study locally. And remember, you must speak to the university or the college that you are considering going to be able to get further information about this. You will not be able to receive further information about this directly from Student Finance England. This is information that we wish to share with you as part of your research for higher education. An information point here, which is very important. Care leavers should always check out if there is an additional bursary support that is available to them from their local authority. If there is, please make sure you have spoken to somebody within the local authority to establish what your entitlement and eligibility would be. So how to apply for student finance? Student finance applications. What is the actual best practice to do this? First and foremost, it's very important to remember you don't need a confirmed place at university or college to actually apply for student finance. You must get your application in, which you can change at any time up until late September. So you apply through the Gov website, gov.uk/student finance, when the application cycle actually opens. Generally speaking, the application cycle opens in February of the year of application. So in this instance, it will be mid to late February 2021. And there is usually a hard deadline, which is around the end of May. So it is within that period that we request that all students considering applying to university or college for their higher education complete their application form. And again, it is very important to remember, you do not need a confirmed place at university or college to make that application form, and it is a free application form. There is no charge. You must have relevant information to hand, such as things like your national insurance number and your passport, your personal bank account details, and your parents' email address so that Student Finance England can contact them to provide information for their household income. Make sure that any evidence or information needed to support your application is supplied right at the first time. Students and parents and any partners and carers, so you can be assessed and paid on time. It is very important that if you apply on time and supply the evidence that is requested by the student loans company, that that is sent in a timely fashion so that we can assess your application form and get your notification of entitlement out to you via letter, which identifies exactly how much maintenance loan you will be receiving in that first term. It's also important that you read, understand, and agree to the loan terms and conditions, and you will be required to digitally approve this, sign, and send it back to us. By agreeing to the terms and conditions and reading and understanding them, you are then complying with the requirements of a student loan. Further information for student finance is available from the Gov website. All applications are done through gov.uk/student finance. It's important that you have a look at this, read through it, understand exactly how student finance works, understand your responsibilities of student finance, and equally the responsibilities of parents, carers, or any other sponsors that will be supporting your application form. There is also information available from the studentroom.co.uk. This is a great resource for students and parents who are considering moving into higher education. You will be able to share some information with other students. There are live chat forums available through the student room, and there are other forms of guidance and advice for higher education, all within a central place for you to be able to read and research further. As you complete your higher education form through UCAS, ucas.com, we have partnered with UCAS over the last year and a half. So when you do go ahead and complete your UCAS application form online, you will also see that there is a reference to Student Finance England. So in addition to the resources already mentioned like gov.uk and the Student Room, you will be reminded through UCAS of Student Finance England. And through here, once again, you will be able to research further information, whether that be for disability students allowance, whether that be about household incomes, dependent grants, or any other funding that you may wish to learn more about. So how do parents, carers, or sponsors support an application form? Once somebody has applied, a student has applied online for their student finance application form, the child then provides the parental email address. We write to the parents to ask us for their income details, which is always based on the previous tax year. So for example, students that have started higher education in 2020 and 2021 have had their households provide us with the tax year of 2018 and 19. So for 2021 and 2022, it will be the full tax year of 2019 and 2020. So once we receive that income detail and we complete our assessment, we write to you to identify exactly the maintenance loan amount for the year, and then your child gets paid in 3 equal installments. First installment being once they've started their university college course, one in January once they've returned from the Christmas break, and then once after the Easter break. Repaying your student loan. Student loan repayments. It's very important to understand and research as much as you possibly can about this. You won't make repayments until your income is over a repayment threshold. Now, currently for 2020 and 2021, this sits at a salary level of £26,575. Plan 2 thresholds are set to rise annually in line with average earning increases, and this is an agreement that the government has decided to do every year moving forward. So for 2021, April next year, it will increase to £27,295. So for every year that you are at university or college, you will get notified of an increase to your threshold, reaching a certain point by the time you complete or leave your course. If you study a full-time course, you will be due to start repaying in the April after graduating or leaving your course. So if you start in 2021 and do a 3-year course at university or college, you will be leaving in July 2024. You will then have April 2025 before you will be required to start repaying your student loan as long as you are above the threshold. You repay 9% of your income over the threshold, not 9% of all of your income, as is often misunderstood. So it is 9% of everything above the income above the threshold. If your income falls below that threshold for whatever reason, a career break, you lose your job, your repayments will stop. Any outstanding loan balance will be cancelled 30 years after you enter into repayment. So, what does that look like currently? If you look at the table, the annual gross income on the left against approximate monthly repayments for last year and what they currently are for this academic year of 2020 and 2021. You see that they are approximately listed in terms of monthly amounts deducted based on what the annual gross income is. Further information regarding interest can be sought from our slc.co.uk repayment site. Again, as the income threshold rises to 27,295 from next year, we give you an example here of what it is likely to look like on a monthly repayment, an approximate figure. We also have a dedicated student loans repayment site, but we also run student loans campaign messages at the right time in the year if you are about to enter into a repayment. And through this, you are able to manage your own account and read further information about student loans repayments. If you need more information, you can receive further information from the gov.uk/student finance website, or you can tweet us at studentfinance_England, or through our Facebook social media page /studentfinance_England. You will be able to receive more information, ask questions of our experts between certain times on our student room and our social media. Thank you very much for listening today, and I hope you found it useful.